to Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today, Around Kansas looks at the trial of the 19th century. 8 people convicted of conspiring in the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. Next, on a lighter note, we learn all about the baseball career of Mike Torrez, a Topekan who was inducted into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame 10 years ago. Then enjoy a poem from Ron Wilson, and we'll end with the Kansas section of the Midland Trail. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment is brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. Just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road. Well, good morning. It's Wednesday. I'm Frank.
I'm Deb, and it's June.
And June already.
June 1st. Can you believe that?
I know. June bugs and everything.
The June bugs and everything.
June
That's right.
is busting up. Remember when we did one? We did a song. Well, now June is in my brain. Sorry.
I don't think I know the June bug song.
Oh, well, June is busting out all over is from Rodgers and Hammerstein's Carousel. June is busting
sure.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I do. Maybe I just didn't recognize it.
Well, that could be.
Hey, this weekend coming up is the June 2nd, which would be tomorrow, but this weekend is when they're going to mark that anniversary at the Blackjack Battlefield just outside of Baldwin City. And I will be one of the guest speakers, but they've got reenactors and tours of the battlefield and lots of really, really cool stuff. So check out the website and come out and see us. 160 years.
Wow.
Yeah, John Brown and the forces against the forces from Missouri.
Yeah.
One of my friends has one of those signs that has John Brown standing up there, and it said, Kansas protecting the world from Missouri since 1854.
And again, you know, I mean, those of us in Kansas say this really, I mean, not that it's an honor or anything, but this really is where the actual fighting of the Civil War started.
It is.
It really did.
It absolutely is. So what have you got coming up in June, Frank?
Oh, June? Oh, man. Well, I'm going to be traveling around Kansas because I gave myself weekends off now from the radio station.
Good for
So I'm going to get on the
you.
2 wheels. I'm going to go a lot of places.
Awesome.
So it can't rain on the weekends. So
Well, we'll put that order in.
yeah,
We'll work on that
yeah.
right now.
That and watching my grandson play a lot of baseball.
And we're going to talk about
And we're going to have a baseball story,
We
too.
got a great baseball story coming
Yeah.
up for you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
great. June's going to be a busy month,
It is.
a really busy month. Of course, everybody's been holding off, you know, till good weather to do a lot of things, but it's a great time to get around Kansas. It's been a beautiful, wet spring, so all the wildflowers are going to be blooming, and the cows are fat and happy all over the state, and it's going to be a great time to get out and see some stuff. So
Wow.
make sure, go to our archive, and you can see some of the segments. I had a lady that messaged me that did this. She was looking at our segments to figure out the places that she wanted to visit. So you can go back to the website and look at the archive stories and see what looks cool to you.
Yeah, and Kansas is a place for spectacular sunsets. So
Okay.
if you can, in the evening, and you're close to the Flint Hills, go over in there because, wow, you talk about unbelievable sunsets. That's where you see them.
Well, just about every part of Kansas, you know, down the Gyp Hills, the High Plains, the Flint Hills, you know, just about every part of Kansas has got its own special beauty, doesn't it?
Yeah, June.
Sure does.
Great
June.
place to be.
That's a great place. June is busting out all over.
It is. June. No, I won't.
We'll be right back.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Stop for the legend. Buffalo Bill Cody earned that title right here in Oakley. Celebrate its pioneering history and unique geography in 2 sites, the Buffalo Bill Cultural Center and the Fick Fossil Museum. Plan to visit June 10th and 11th for the Tri-County Cruisers Car Show, Street Dance, Beer Garden, Citywide Garage Sale, and Quilt Show. Or plan your event at the Buffalo Bill Cultural Center. Highways 83 and 40 and I-70 crisscross this hub of the Western Vistas Historic Byway. Stay for the day. Discover Oakley.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life. And we're back again. I don't know, I've been in music all my life, and the Kingston Trio, live, they used to do a song, and it was like, hangman, hangman, bring a rope. Hangman, hangman, bring a rope.
You're kidding. I remember Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley.
Yeah.
Of course,
but
he
anyway,
got hanged.
that's a sick song, but anyway.
It is a pretty sick song.
And the only reason I did that is because you have a story about, believe it or not, gallows.
Gallows. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm into the dark side of life, I guess. It's all war and murder and mayhem and everything. It's, yeah, that's pretty much sums up my life. So, did you see the movie The Conspirators?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so if Robin Penn played Mary Surratt and did a fantastic job. Edwin Stanton was played by Kevin Kline. Absolutely fantastic. Everybody in this just rose to the occasion. It's an amazing film. Highly recommend it. Well, we have a really interesting connection to the whole conspirators. We've talked about Boston Corbett and his connection to John Wilkes Booth and the whole Kansas connection before, but we've got a very interesting connection to Mary Surratt. So let's share that story with you today. The trial of the 19th century began on May 9th, 1865. Abraham Lincoln had been assassinated not even a month before. To the disappointment of the Secretary of War, Edwin Stanton, the guilty party, John Wilkes Booth, had been killed rather than captured. But he was only the tip of the conspiracy. There were others responsible in the plot to overthrow the government. President Andrew Johnson ordered a trial by military commission as the assassination conspiracy was deemed an act of war. For several weeks, prosecutors revealed the case against the conspirators. Because the defense attorneys were never allowed to meet with their clients, their arguments were weak and easily refuted. The commission began deliberation on June 29. Nearly a week later, they declared all 8 defendants guilty. Some, like Dr. Mudd, received prison terms. Lewis Powell, David Harold, George Atzerodt, and Mary Surratt were sentenced to hang. Workmen quickly erected a scaffold on the lawn of the old Arsenal Penitentiary. From their cells, the condemned could hear its construction and the slam of the traps as they were tested. At 1:15 on July 7, the 4 were led to the gallows, their hands and feet tied, heads covered with hoods, and necks fitted with nooses. Minutes later, they were dead. Despite a desperate last-minute plea to spare her life, Mary Surratt became the first woman executed for a crime in the United States. In 1885, the secretary of the Kansas Historical Society learned that the scaffold was stored at the old arsenal in Washington, D.C. He wrote to the quartermaster's office to request a piece of it for the collection. The lieutenant who received the letter was happy to comply, as he had spent time as a soldier at Fort Leavenworth and considered himself a Kansan. He sent this fragment. It has been a part of the Society's collection since 1885. Through enlarging photographs and comparing the fragment, it was determined that this fragment held the rope upon which Mary Surratt was hanged.
Lecompton. The name was splashed across newspapers throughout America and Europe. It was debated in the halls of Congress. Lecompton interprets its unique territorial history with 2 museums and other sites. Events throughout the year celebrate history and community.
The 160th anniversary of the Battle of Fort Titus, June 18th, 2 p.m. Reenactors welcome. Call 785-887-6148 for more information.
Spend the day in historic Lecompton, shopping, eating, savoring the rich history.
I think it really extends your home out to the outdoors, and Mark always had kind of a vision of what he wanted to do with the yard, and so he envisioned this kind of outdoor area, the waterfall and things, but when Blueville came in, they had some really good ideas of how to place it and how to do different things that really enhanced the project. So
yeah, over the years we've grown to really enjoy our outdoor living space and developed a great working relationship with Blueville.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Find out more at kansasgrainsorghum.org. Let's talk baseball.
Yeah, that's a lot cheerier.
Yeah.
I love baseball.
Well, I've got a grandson now that's playing baseball, and yes, he's pretty good. In fact, their club team last year won every tournament they were in. But anyway.
We have a fine tradition of baseball players in Kansas.
Yes, we do.
A very long, distinguished list.
Well, and we've done the story about, Evers to Chance to, and of course Evers is from Kansas. And I mean, Mickey Mantle, who grew up around Baxter Springs and played there. And I mean, it just kind of goes on and on.
And on and on.
Well, and because a lot of major leagues for a lot of years came to Kansas to scout a lot of the teams, Sandlot teams and American Legion, and they still kind of do. And so anyway, one of the people we're going to talk about is a guy that played in some World Series, won some games in the World Series, was a pitcher, and I'm glad I never faced him, Mike Torrez.
Amazing talent. And we're going to wish Mike Torrez a happy 70th birthday this year. Great story, Frank.
Topekan Mike Torrez was inducted into the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame 10 years ago, and the legendary player will turn 70 in August. His career began when he signed as an amateur free agent with the St. Louis Cardinals in September 1964. He made his debut at the age of 20 with the Cardinals. Mike seldom pitched in his first 2 seasons. He had a breakthrough season in 1969, going 10-4. He was traded to the Expos midseason on June 15, 71 for Bob Reynolds. In 1972, Mike went 16-12 with a 3.33 ERA and 240 innings. In the 1974 season, Mike logged in a 15-8 win-loss record in 186 innings. Mike was acquired by the Baltimore Orioles from the Expos in 1974. In 1975, he had perhaps his best season of his career with the Orioles, going 20-9 with a 3.06 earned run average and 270.2 innings pitched. However, he also led the lead in walks with 133. Mike was traded along with Don Baylor and Paul Mitchell by the Orioles to the Oakland A's for Reggie Jackson, Ken Holtzman, and pitcher Bill Van Brummel in 1976. He was traded to the Yankees early the next season. Mike won 2 games in the 1977 World Series for the world champion Yankees, both of them complete game victories. and won 15 or more games in 6 consecutive seasons. He caught Lee Lacy's pop-up bunt for the final out of that 1977 series. After the Yankees' 1977 championship season, he signed as a free agent with the Boston Red Sox. He won 16 games during the 78 season. In the 78 American League East tiebreaker game, he allowed a 3-run home run to light-hitting Yankee shortstop Bucky Dent in the late innings of the division-deciding 163rd game. On January 13, 1983, the Red Sox traded Mike to the New York Mets. The Mets sent minor leaguer Mike Davis to the Red Sox to complete that trade. Released by the Mets in 1984, Torrez signed with the Athletics in July, and they released him in August. As an actor, he appeared in Boston Red Sox 100 Years of Baseball History, Jungle Assault, and 1977 World Series.
Earlier in my life, I rode bucking horses and rodeos, and my shoulders took such a beating, and that was probably the reason for having several previous surgeries on both shoulders. About a year ago, I decided that I didn't want to have another surgery. And so I contacted Kansas Regenerative Medicine, took their treatment process. It was relatively pain-free. Now, after 8 months, my shoulders have healed to the point where I think I'm probably 90 to 95% of normal. It takes a couple of months to start to see results with stem cell injections, but at about 3 to 3.5 months, I started to feel better. I started to have less pain and feel real progress. That continued to increase gradually until now at approximately 8 months. And I'm extremely pleased. I've got full range of motion. I can lift weights, I can throw, I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do without a lot of pain previously.
Support Kansas agriculture education with an AgriTag. AgriTags are available anytime at your county treasurer. They look great on cars and trucks. For more information, go online to ksagclassroom.org.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. Around Kansas, brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
In September 1955, a brand new show debuted on CBS television. It became the longest running series in the history of our nation, and it was that Saturday night show known as Gunsmoke. The smart people in Dodge City put on a seminar 50 years after the debut, and this is the poem I presented that day with an update for 10 years later. Gunsmoke. I can't believe it's been 60 years since the TV show Gunsmoke did first appear. In September 1955 came a new series that would grow and thrive. It featured a tall, brave lawman played by James Arness. At capturing the bad guys, he was the best. You knew that he would get the villain as he played the character Marshal Matt Dillon. At the Long Branch Saloon, he had a friend who was pretty, but he never quite got hitched with his friend Miss Kitty. In an office above the town boardwalk was the town doctor, who of course was called Doc. Chester was Marshal Dillon's first deputy. He walked with a limp for everyone to see. Then Festus Hagen came on the show, along with Newley and Quint and others also. Good acting, good writing, and other reasons kept that show going for 20 seasons. It was the longest running series in the history of our nation and provided entertainment for young and old generations. So I can't believe it began some 60 years ago, but it brings back good memories of the Gunsmoke TV show. When I visited Dodge City, one thing made me frown. Where were all those mountains the marshal rode into whenever he rode out of town? Happy trails.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. A high-energy, drought-tolerant crop, sorghum only requires 6 inches of water to produce the first bushel. And with its wide uses and easy adaptation, sorghum proves to be a truly indispensable crop. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Well-designed container flower gardens bring beauty to your home, at your entry, on your patio, or placed in a special spot in your landscape. Let Jackson's help you select the correct plant combinations which will add the color and style you need and that will survive the summer to provide beauty till frost.
It's our annual Mix or Match flat sale. Save 25% on a flat of 12 4-packs, or choose 10 or more premium proven winner annuals and save 25%.
Heinen Brothers, a fourth-generation Northeast Kansas farm family, knows how tough farming can be. Farmers helping farmers. Heinen Brothers Ag, selling and servicing crop protection products, fertilizer, anhydrous ammonia, cover crops, quality aerial and ground application. Call today to learn about our extended term financing program. 800-760-4964. HeinenBrothersAg.com.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Around Kansas, brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. Go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
So when we were at the Kansas Sampler Festival, Dave DeArmond was in the tent where my booth was set up, and the Kansas Products tent. Yes, Vanna, thank you so much. She's a lovely assistant. This is, and I talk about a lot of books, this is stunning, absolutely stunning. I had never heard of the Midland Trail. I'm very aware of a lot of our road history because, Kansas being literally the crossroads of the nation, we've got some pretty spectacular road history. Let's show them a couple of pages there, Vanna.
Okay.
Okay, so what he has done is gone and followed this route from 100 years ago and painted what he found today. And so these watercolors are all over the state. They're spectacular. It's just spectacular. Another thing that Dave did, he visited all 105 counties and painted, I think he has a book with like 4 paintings from each county. So he has just literally painted the entire state and just keeps finding new projects to work on. So let's take a look at the Midland Trail. Roads evolve. They go from animal paths to Indian paths to wagon roads to paved roads to superhighways. A special thanks to Dave DeArmond for introducing us to the Kansas section of the Midland Trail. His book, Sketching the 1916 Midland Trail Across Kansas, as I Found It a Century Later, details the history of this route, accompanied by his watercolor images along the road today. We thank Dave for sharing the story with us. In May 1913, the New York Times reported that a motorist acting for the American Automobile Association was searching for transcontinental routes. Mr. A.L. Westgard, pathfinder for the AAA, had already set out several routes, including one which ran through Kansas, called the Midland Trail. According to a map in the New York Times, Westgard's original route for the Midland Trail ran near the path of today's I-70. A 1915 article in Motor Magazine described the Midland Trail as an extension of the National Old Trails Highway, crossing Kansas on good dirt road marked with yellow bands. It said it passed through Kansas City, Topeka, Ellis, Oakley, and on to Colorado. The route was still not firmly established, and a 1914 tour book described the route roughly along today's Highway 24. The mid-1920s, the road was somewhat realigned and called the National Roosevelt Midland Trail. In towns, the Midland Trail was sometimes marked. The National Midland Trail Association specified utility poles to be marked with 2 6-inch bands of orange with a 6-inch band of black between. However, in Kansas, the guide only mentions red stripes on marked poles. What were the roads like? Paved only in larger or more prosperous towns, and then with cut stones or bricks, largely dirt roads, at times impassable? Yes. You can find Dave's artistic guidebook in the Kansas Original stores. As Dave says, time to hit the road.
We have to go already.
Doggone it.
I'm
Time flies.
Yeah, I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And we'll see you somewhere around Kansas.
Gateway to Oz.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy.